One relatively under the radar ASIC miner has been achieving record high profits over the past week. But why is the question? Welcome back, everyone. So earlier this week, I was posting some of the profits for a single rig on NiceHash. This particular rig was hitting like $81 a day at its peak. And yes, those payouts were hitting my Bitcoin wallet in NiceHash. And I was curious as to why this was. It took a little bit digging, but we ended up figuring out. Which miner are we talking about today? Well, we are talking about none other than the Antminer D9 Dash miner, which currently is listed on the Bitmain website for $8,500, but there are much better deals floating around out there due to its profitability decrease on the actual coin Dash, which up until now was pretty much the only X11 algorithm coin available to mine. What has ended up happening though is a new coin on the horizon, and that new coin is called BlockX. BlockX, from the best I can tell so far, is pretty much a fork of Dash. There are some differences here and there are some red flags here and there with it in particular. But what has been happening is that a halving has happened on the mining reward side of things, and they have added master nodes. Now, this was driving the accumulation rate up and obviously having an impact on supply, which was making this miner worth quite a bit more. Compounding on that fact, the liquidity in centralized exchanges is quite low, pretty much under $50,000 total. So the only way people could accumulate enough coin to stand up their master nodes, essentially, was to rent hash rate on NiceHash, driving, of course, the price of this through the roof. So as you can see here, I have a mining profitability calculator up and the Antminer D9 specifications put in at 1770 gigahash a second at the power of 2850 with a power cost of 10 cents a kilowatt hour. I suppose I should add the fee, but suffice to say, before the halving, what you are seeing is 69 days, $69 a day in profit. Now, this is theoretically cut in half to about $35 a day now, and that is due to the fact that basically the block 6000 that everybody was waiting on for master nodes to get enabled, etc., has been activated. So the block rewards cut in half, but a lot of these calculators, etc., are still stuck on pulling the old API during this fork. So it's going to be a bit of a bumpy road, even in fact to the point to where as I hit a block right before 6,000, this pool miningpower.eu has not updated. Therefore, I have a balance, but I am not paid out. It's yet to be seen if I'm going to be able to actually get paid out for this one in particular, as there seems to be no word yet on this pool updating the node. So I'm kind of waiting on that, but I did a little bit of NiceHash. I did this one for the past 24 hours until the block. And then right now I actually have my own pool stood up, of course, my own node, because that is the fastest way to get to mining reliably and not worrying about another pool or a third party in this particular case. And I wanted to do it after essentially the update, so I knew that I was on all of the right stuff. So this is really what's happening right now as far as why the profitability went up. I presume it will cool down now, but there are quite a few things that are taking place that you should be aware of. Right now, you can trade it on ZEGX and SafeTrade. Now, SafeTrade only has like maybe a couple $100 in basically the amount or availability. I guess it's gone way up. Never mind. Oh, no, that's PLS. Let's go to the right one real quick. So I believe the volume on here for SafeTrade was extremely low. It says the 24-hour trading volume is only like $400. I don't know what total volume is right now, but not a lot of trading going on there, so we can pretty much ignore it. On top of that, it's still allowing you to withdraw funds, but if you have any BlockX within Safe Trade, please wait, because withdrawals should be, in theory right now, deactivated on all exchanges. This is going to be important to understand because nobody can put coin in or take coin out. So the question is what is the goal of the people that were mining it? And seeing that a majority of the mining was going through NiceHash and not miners directly mining it, because the miners were just pointed to NiceHash in this particular case, it's safe to assume that a lot of people here are accumulating this particular coin to stand up masternodes. This could be a really good indicator for price, but because withdrawals and deposits are paused until block 6,500, which will be happening tonight in a few hours after you watch this video, there is going to be a ton of price action happening on ZegX for this particular coin. So keep that in mind. It could go way up because in the Discord and so on, I am noticing a lot of people saying that they've been accumulating, waiting for withdrawals to happen so they can pull out of ZegX and stand up their master nodes. That's a big play. On the other side of things, any miner that was mining this directly is probably planning on depositing and selling to people, so that could drive the price down. Which way it flows is really up in the air. If you are looking at mining this as opposed to Dash, it is more profitable than mining Dash as of right now, even with the halving, because like I showed you guys earlier, you're looking at around $37 a day. Still, at the current price, with, of course, whatever happens tonight on the swing. Also, if you can get yourself up and running with a node right now, some of the largest mining pools are down. So your advantage here is that you will have a higher likelihood of finding a block right now as well. So keep that in mind too. Lots of craziness going on with it. Now, I would be amiss if I didn't mention that the biggest red flag for this particular coin is a 3 million BlockX pre-mine that did take place. In fact, you can see it on the rich list here, right here. And that is 21% of the current supply, not the total supply, right? But you should basically, oh, that's received. No, that's current balance. So of the current supply, not the total supply at the end of the day. Now, the wealth distribution is insane right now, with the top 25 wallets holding 66% of the coin. But keep in mind, this is a very early coin, right? It's only been out since like July 23rd on exchanges, and even, I mean, not much longer than that on basically being around before then. So it's not like this has been running around for a while and should have fantastic distribution yet. It's sort of understandable. But the top 100 wallets have 97% of the total supply. So the question comes down to the fact of like, this is a pure sign of being in extremely early in this project. And so price is probably going to be extremely volatile and bouncing around all over the place. But that does mean that if you have basically an X11 miner sitting around that wasn't profitable and you want to do a little bit of sort of spec mining at this point, because there really isn't enough volume to guarantee the price whatsoever in the exchange. I think the total on TradeX is only $48,000. You can see it up here. Or I said that wrong. Sorry. Is that 482,000 BlockX? And then that's times 4. So it's $100,000, right? Something around there. You divide by 4. So for about $100,000. Very low. All right. So not that much going on there quite yet. It's going to be all over the place, but it is something to do with your X11 miners. Keep in mind, driving up the difficulty on this will make it less profitable, but there is very, very, very low hash rate right now. and you can see a lot of people were pumping along, and then poof, we had that huge drop from 495 terahash a second to 108 terahash a second. I am already seeing it recover a little bit on mining pool stats, etc. But you can see that that is because essentially what we had is some shifting around in the hash rate, and that is because pools like miningpower.eu are down, and this one was the top pool. But overall, you can tell that even though these are reporting, you can see 256 terahash a second with 523 terahash a second on the network. That is 51% unknown. So what could we also witness here at the end of the day? Well, with the masternodes, not as much of a concern, but that could be a potential fork that could take place, and a 51% attack that could take place on this network, and this fork could have been split. So the question is did that happen as well? I see some people talking about it in the Discord. But from what I can tell, everything was supposedly all Gucci as far as the transfer goes. Now, if you're interested in purchasing this miner, you know, keep in mind that this is going to be all over the place. You basically, your best bet is still to calculate ROI based on Dash. But if you're interested in purchasing it, I did put together a couple of quotes here from a couple partners, one being Coastal Crypto Miner. Now I used the new units because Coastal only has new units, but you can actually get out a little cheaper on BT miners if you buy a used unit, but you don't get the warranty, etc. As you can see here on Coastal Crypto, with sales tax applied to Texas, of course, here, delivery, my promo code SOAT discount for $100 off, the total comes out to $5,744. The equivalent on the BT miner side of things is going to be essentially $5,894, so a little bit more expensive for a new unit. And make sure that you don't pay with credit card, because you'll get charged an additional fee of like $250, which drives this thing up over $6,000. Now I also do have a line which I am putting together over on sonofatech.locals.com for these units at $4,100 shipped to the door. This is through a third party that I utilize to obtain my units specifically. If you guys are interested in some sort of bulk purchase deal, etc., there, it will take about 2 to 3 weeks for them to get here from China, but they are available for $4,100 shipped to door, depending on how many units we get. Worst case, $4,150, I should state. So go check out the sonofatech.locals.com for that. Also, for any pool information, I probably will be standing up a pool here in the next couple of days, just so that people that are having trouble connecting and these old pools that have shut down, we just have one running on the latest info for BlockX, and everybody is all good. Thanks everybody for watching. That is the reason why the Antminer D9 was making so much money on NiceHash. Will this continue? I don't know. Maybe not. It's a very early coin. We're 2 weeks into this, not even, right? 7 days, 8, 9 days into this essentially being listed. So it's all way up in the air. I'd like to hear your thoughts and opinions about BlockX down below. I think it is smart to basically deploy an X11 coin to breathe some life in. You get some automatic security of some Dash miners laying around. Seems like it's a good idea from that perspective. I'm wholeheartedly against pre-mines, so I definitely don't like that, especially as you can tell with the distribution right now. It is extremely favored in the pre-mine section of things, so keep an eye out. If that wallet starts moving into one of the exchanges, pay attention. There is also a statement that TextBit is confirmed, so there will be a TextBit listing here coming soon. Take that for what you will. I'll see you next Tuesday.